The milk slinger. You know how some people just don't know when enough is enough? They just keep crossing one line after another. They'll do one thing that you think is utterly insane, but then a week later do something 3 times as worse. This is exactly what happened at work recently, and it is to this day the most insane event that has happened at my job. For some background, I worked as a cashier at a grocery store in my town. I haven't even been working at the establishment for a year yet, so I was surprised when this whole crazy thing happened, as even some of my coworkers who have worked there for 5+ years say that nothing this nuts has ever happened. Anyway, I'll give you the story on when it all started. The whole situation that I'm about to share with you isn't actually one singular event, but rather it's a series of events leading up to one final climax, if that's what you want to call it. And that climax was the last straw for all of us. It all started about 2 months ago, in the autumn of 2022. It was a Friday night, and I was scheduled to close with one other coworker along with the closing manager. Rather than manning one of the registers, I'd be watching over self-checkout that evening, so I kind of look forward to my shift, though it would be a little monotonous. I just find self-checkout more free feeling than a register, mostly because I could at least walk around, whereas on a register, I was chain bound by the eyes of my supervisor to my register, waiting for the next customer. Anyway, the time was close to 10 p.m. that night. There were probably no more than 5 customers in the store that late at night, and so I grabbed the cleaning supplies and began mopping the floors in between the checkout registers. The other coworker closing that night, we'll call him Larry, was manning register number 1, the main register, I guess you'd call it. While I cleaned, and the manager closing that night, who we'll call Rebecca, was in the cash office doing whatever. I was focused in on mopping, the typical grocery store playlist blaring obnoxiously from the overhead speakers, with the occasional coupon promotion being advertised by the female robot voice. You know, the ones that go like, save 10% on all deli sales when you apply for the BVP card. Stuff like that. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I was at the point of wrapping up mopping the registers when I heard the sound of the overly squeaky doors sliding open, followed by the sight of a scrawny man in his mid-30s around the corner. He wore a dirty pair of untied high-top Converse shoes with black skinny jeans with rips in them, revealing his scrawny, hairy legs. On his torso, he had on an army green denim jacket with an extremely high collar, kind of like the collar the fictional character Dracula had on his cape outfit. He had a buzz cut with a bunch of patchy spots on it, and a messy, untrimmed beard, which I guess you could say is more of a 5 a.m. stubble. Next, he marched up to the customer service counter and rang the bell repeatedly, over and over again. "Well, hello!" he shouted. "Who's gonna help me?" I just stood there, half mopping, half watching customer service, fully expecting Rebecca to come out of the office to help the man. A minute passed, and she still hadn't emerged, and the man was growing more and more irritable, and so I rushed over to see what he needed. My coworker Larry was still semi-new working there, so he wasn't yet qualified to help at customer service. He just stood there at the end of his register, awkwardly. "Hey, sorry for the wait, what can I help you with, sir?" I politely said. The man didn't say anything though. Instead, he pulled out an Airhead candy bar from his jeans pocket and began eating it, chewing it down whilst he stared me down in the eyes. "Bro, you good?" I asked. He still didn't say anything though. He just continued eating his Airhead. I could tell he was getting more and more angry though. I could see it on his face. It was late, and I had to finish cleaning before I could go home, and this dude's games were not what I wanted to put up with at that moment. "Sir, if you don't need anything, then please leave customer service and go do what you need to do. I don't have all night." Just then the man finished his Airhead, and that was when he finally said something. Oh, I need something, all right," he said. His voice was kinda raspy in a way, but also full of energy and full of enthusiasm. "I'll take the pumpkin spice milk." "Bro, the what?" I replied. I pretended I didn't know what the man was talking about, when in reality, I knew exactly what it was. The pumpkin spice milk was a new item we were carrying in our store that fall, though it was not yet for sale on the shelf during the time this took place. I wasn't gonna lie, this guy was weird, and I genuinely did not like pretending I was gonna go search for the milk. The man then stated his request once again. "I need the pumpkin spice milk." Here, I would have no idea if we carry it or not. Let me ask one of the stockers, I told the guy. "Oh, I know you guys have it. I know you do." He was getting furious now. "1 second, sir. I'll see if someone can bring a gallon up to the front," I replied. I spoke into my headset mic and asked if anyone in the back knew if we were carrying the pumpkin spice milk, even though I already knew the answer. I knew we had it in stock, in the back. But the stocking and dairy managers did not like letting people, even the employees, purchase any item before it was on the shelf. And as expected, the stocking manager, who we'll call Mike, said in a stern voice that we had it in the back, but that no one could have it until next Tuesday when it would be put on the shelf. And so, I simply told the customer that we did not have it.
"What do you mean you don't have it?"
He stated.
"I know you do!"
He pointed his bony finger at me furiously. "Sir, seriously, we don't. But if you come back here in a week or so, we should have it on our shelves then."
"So you're saying it's in the store?"
he said, quieting his voice. Before I could answer, though, he jumped to a conclusion.
"I knew it! I knew it all along! The pumpkin spice milk is in the store!"
Just then, Rebecca emerged from her office, drawn out by the man's yelling.
"What's going on?"
she demanded.
"1 sec, I'll be back. The pumpkin spice milk is in my future,"
the man said as he ran out of the store into the night. The three of us were confused, but also relieved. We were just hoping he wouldn't return, as we'd be able to leave in about 10 minutes and clock out. Unfortunately, though, not 15 seconds later, the man reemerged through the doors. He was now riding a bicycle.
"Sir, you can't be riding bikes in the store,"
Rebecca shouted, but he didn't listen. He continued cruising through the store. The three of us working that night rushed into the office and watched the back of the store through the security cameras. The man weaved between aisles as he made his way to the employees only area in the back. He rode his bike through the doors. At least he was being safe, because he put a helmet on before riding, which is good. Though, 25 seconds later, and he bust back out through the doors, and in his hand was nothing other than the pumpkin spice milk itself.
"Finally!"
He then hopped back onto his bike to make his escape.
"Here I go!"
5 seconds later, Mike the stocking manager busted through the doors of the employees only area and chased after him.
"Get back here with my milk!"
he shouted. Rebecca and I burst through the office door and ran to the front door to try and catch the man, but it was too late. He had already ridden his bike out the store and into the night, and so Rebecca and I just gave up on him. But Mike did not. He ran out of the store and into the parking lot.
"If you come back, I'm calling the cops!"
Mike yelled. I looked on the parking lot camera and witnessed Mike crazily diving into the bushes in frustration. He then came back inside. He is a mess now because of the bushes. His short blonde hair was wet and messy. "I'll be in my office," he said, saying nothing else. Here is exactly what he looked like. The rest of the night was uneventful. We finished cleaning, and I went home. However, the very next night, I was closing again. In fact, I was scheduled to close both tonight and the night after. It was only around 9 p.m. this time when the same guy, the milkman from last night, strolled into the store. He still had a pumpkin spice milk stash dried on his stash from the previous night. It was hard and encrusted on his face. He held the empty bottle of pumpkin spice milk in his hand.
"I thought Mike called the cops on you,"
Rebecca stated.
"No time for questions. My pumpkin spice milk wasn't 100% fresh enough. I deserve and demand double my money back."
100% fresh or double your money back. That was one of the store's many customer satisfaction guarantees. Though, I think they're pretty much all cap.
"Sir, you didn't even spend any money on the milk. You stole it,"
Rebecca replied.
"I did not. In fact, I paid triple the amount of its value, and I also happened to snag my master's degree in college in mathematics itself. And according to my mathematics, the value of this here pumpkin spice milk is $5. Very high quality stuff indeed. Therefore, I demand $500 in return right now."
"Your math is wrong," Rebecca replied. 5 times 3 equals 15.
"How dare you question me and my mathematics? I'm sorry. I should have introduced myself. My name is Count Math Milk III. I know my math left and right, and I know it's right. It always is. In fact, you can credit this very store as my invention,"
shouted Count Math Milk. He was now confirmed by me and all the other co-workers to be absolutely nuts. A madman, as some call it.
"If I shall now explain why my math is correct, a proper mathematician always shows his work after all. Anyway, 5 times 3, added onto it, equals $500. Now pay up."
"No way. Leave now or I'll be forced to call the police again," Rebecca said. Count Math Milk, though, had now drawn quite some attention to himself.
"I'm not a satisfied customer. The customer's always right, and I know that I'm right. I always am."
Count Math Milk then proceeded to march to the end of the baking goods aisle. He marched down it and picked up a bag of flour.
"Ho ho! Look out, Englishmen! We're on ghost time!"
I was confused at first, but when Count Math Milk reemerged from the baking goods aisle, I understood what he meant by ghost time. He is now covered from head to toe in flour. He must have smashed the bag on himself.
What did you do?
Rebecca demanded.
Don't be silly now. I demand my $500 back and now.
Just then, Mike the stocking manager emerged from around the corner. He now wore a pair of boxing gloves.
My flour, he cried. Not my precious flour. You're gonna pay for this, you hear me? Bring it on, old man, bring it on!
Count Mathmilk yelled back as he performed the humping gesture with his hips. And so Mike and Count Mathmilk went at it. Mike went and sucker punched Mathmilk in the face, but Mathmilk had other plans. He ducked the sucker punch and proceeded to pull off Mike's shirt. Mike, the stocking manager, is now shirtless, his belly extruded out just a bit. I then witnessed Mike and how on his belly sat a tattoo that read, and I quote, "Food Ferret Sexiest" on it. How embarrassing. All the employees and customers alike started laughing about it, and so Mike took massive action, as did Mathmilk. They both got on the floor and started to wrestle. Mathmilk soon put Mike in some sort of headlock though, and pinned him down.
Let me go!
Mike exclaimed. Just then the police burst through the front doors. They immediately arrested Count Mathmilk, as well as Mike himself.
Wait, what? Why are you guys arresting me?
Mike cried in confusion. We don't know which one of you is the real alleged milkman. We'll take you both back to the interrogation room to find out for sure. And so you boys can settle your differences, an officer said. The grocery store closed early that night because of what happened with Count Mathmilk. That was fine by me, but I could tell people like Rebecca were in a sour mood. Fast forward the next day, and there I was again, closing, along with Rebecca. My other coworker Bill was also there. Bill was pretty chill, so at least I could have someone to chat with while the hours passed. Mike was also back that night. I'm assuming, obviously, the police let him go, but he was still shook from what happened the previous night, and I don't blame him. Anyway, I was busy collecting coupons from self-checkout when the squeaky front doors opened yet again, and then stepped in, you guessed it, none other than Count Mathmilk.
I thought you got arrested,
exclaimed Rebecca.
I did. I beat my case though and proved to the police that my math was correct. You do indeed owe me $500.
Mathmilk shouted.
I don't owe you anything. Get out or I'm calling the police again.
Come on now, sweetheart. I just came back from my $500. However, economics are strange, and I'm afraid that due to inflation, you now owe me $5 million.
What? No!
Rebecca replied. Just then, out of nowhere, Mike yet again appeared from around the same corner. He now held a paintball gun in his hand.
Out of my store, now!
The now enraged Mike shouted. But Mathmilk didn't listen. Instead, he made a beeline towards the back of the store, towards the dairy fridges. Mike obviously chased after him. Rebecca, Bill, and I also did, as we knew something was likely about to go down. We were right. Mike was starting to catch up to Mathmilk until Mathmilk reached into the milk cooler and threw a gallon into the air. It landed right in front of Mike, milk spilling all over the floor. Mike leaped back in surprise.
Ha ha!
Mathmilk exclaimed, his face lighting up. And the rest was history. Count Mathmilk began slinging a milk gallon after milk gallon across the store, each one exploding on impact. Whenever someone tried to stop him, he'd sling a milk gallon at them too.
Stop! My milk!
Mike cried, but it was too late. Mathmilk continued slinging milk until the entire fridge was empty. The entire floor surrounding the dairy aisle was caked in a layer of now congealed milk. Disgusting. Anyway, Rebecca called the cops, and soon the police arrived.
There he is,
an officer shouted upon arrival. Apparently, Mathmilk had never actually beat his case like he claimed. Rather, he somehow ran away and escaped. Don't worry, Mike. We won't let him escape this time, the cop said. But Mike didn't respond, as he was now balled up in a corner, murmuring to himself. Yeah, he needed therapy for sure. The food ferret was closed early that night. Again, Count Mathmilk would now forever go down in history as the Milk Slinger.